Hello and welcome to Top Fives, the show of everything. Top Fives, presented by the Sex Effects. I'm Joey Prati.
And I'm Sean Day.
And folks, we have I'm really excited for tonight. We have a great show lined up. We are joined, as you can see, if you're watching us live or on YouTube, we're joined by the DNP Pod, Matthew Prati and Alex Baldridge.
Yo.
How are you, sirs?
What's up, guys? Happy to be here.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us on, pals. This is a collab, long time in the making.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
How many episodes are you guys into your show now?
What are we out? 44?
45, something like that. I think.
Yeah, right
Did we
around
cuss on
there.
this?
Very
By the way?
nice.
Sorry.
Getting close to 50, man. You guys are hitting a
Yeah.
milestone right there. That's good.
We're almost
1 year
there.
mark.
Yeah. We got any rules on the language on this thing? Or we
Oh no,
Fuck
you guys
no.
are. Yeah, you guys
fuck
are all.
shit? Bitch.
You're all free
I
to
was
go.
gonna make that.
We-
Didn't ask you to celebrate it, Frank. Perfect, Bob. Right on. But yeah, we usually kind of kick off things with like a little how's your week been? Anything good you've been watching or anything like that? Jonathan, why don't you show us how it's all done? How are you doing?
Oh yeah, I'm doing okay. I'm actually in the process of moving right now, so this is why my setup doesn't look like it usually does when we podcast. But I'm going to be moving to North Hollywood, so that's going to be fun and interesting. But yeah, my room is like a complete mess right now. So I got like boxes. I like disassembled my desk. It's just a lot of stuff. So, and you know how it is when you move, it's exciting. It's a lot of different feelings, but also like stressful because you got to like get all your stuff out of the existing place you have. So yeah. I'm doing okay. Just trying to prepare for that, this weekend, get the keys this weekend. And, yeah. That's pretty much what's going on this week for me.
Right on.
Did you
man.
hire movers, Sean, or are you doing it yourself?
I'm doing it
the old
myself.
American way.
I think my fam might give me a visit to give me some help a little bit. And then I have a buddy of mine who has a truck. It's always good to know someone has a truck who's going to help me move my bed. So, yeah. But yeah, I'm excited because there'll be, the kind of the Studio 2.0 again, setting up the kind of desk and everything. And it's a 2-bedroom apartment. So I'm really excited to kind of switch things up. And yeah, super exciting.
Right on,
Good for
man.
you.
Yeah.
As someone who has lived in 6 different places in the last 4 years, just take it slow. And if you want to hire lug movers, hire lug movers.
Okay.
There's no reason
Not
to throw
worth
your
it.
back out.
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
not.
Yeah.
Really not. So
As we're getting
Yeah.
older, it's like, dude, I gotta watch it, dude, just in case.
Yeah, you'll be out of
So-
commission for a week if you're not careful.
Exactly, man. Exactly.
I hired these movers to take my couch and my 65-inch TV, and it was 2 dudes, and they were both like just over 5 feet tall, and and one of them
Over
like,
their heads.
Yeah.
one had was out to the truck, and the other guy was starting to pick up the TV. I was like, "You need help with that, man?" He's like, "Nope," and he just
Knock on
took
it,
all
pussy.
insane to me. But yeah, they're the real deal. So
Yeah.
it's
I
like
got
Movers are
Uber
the way to
for
go,
moving.
bro.
Yeah.
Once
I
you
got.
go movers, you never go back.
Yeah, exactly, man. I got lucky because I don't necessarily have too much furniture aside from my bed and my desk, which is really nice. So I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna obviously get rid of the frame I have and disassemble it or whatever. I have a memory foam mattress now, so I could like roll that sucker up instead of trying to like mount it on to a truck or something. So we're gonna have to see. The part I'm stressed about the most is like we're getting the keys this weekend, and the first is like I think next week
Tuesday.
So I have kind of this weekend to kind of make some moves and start moving things. And then I don't have the luxury because the last 2 places I lived in were really close to each other. So I don't have the luxury of like being so close to the location I'm moving to. So
What's the distance and what's the travel time?
if without traffic, if I can do it, in like a not busy time of the day, maybe 25 minutes tops.
Not too bad. Not too bad.
My last place, it was like a 15-minute drive, so it was like easy to kind of like take a few things in the car and then bring it there and then come back and all that kind of stuff. So but yeah, hopefully, if my folks come down, they'll be able to help me like with some boxes, and then my buddy will help me with my mattress. So it's gonna be fun. To say the least.
An adventure.
An adventure. But I'm happy to be doing the show today, because I was like, man, I know I gotta like start taking stuff apart, but I was able to like do like where I'm at right now. I have this little like kind of like not coffee table, but like a little side desk that I'm
like a
on.
nightstand,
like a kind of like a nightstand, and I have just like my microphone and my laptop in front of me, which is making this happen tonight. So I'm happy it worked out.
Makeshift
Like
studio.
an accent table.
Yeah, so this is gonna be my workspace for the rest of the week, and then eventually I'm gonna have to like pack it all up and move it. So
What does Juicy J call it when he sets up a studio like in the car in a hotel?
Oh.
Ratchet Studios. Sean's recording at Ratchet Studios right
that's
now.
kind of it, because I am going to be working on some music production stuff this week, and luckily I'm at the final stages of some projects I'm working on, so I'm hoping like we finish by the end of this week.
Look at you, Juicy Day.
Juicy day, y'all. So yeah, it's exciting, and yeah, just I'm trying to like picture it in my head of like how this weekend's going to go down. So I'm hoping it's going to be super smooth and a good move. So yeah.
Nice. Sending you
we're
good
wishing
vibes.
you all the smoothness.
Appreciate it. Thank you guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maddie, Al, how are you guys been? What's new? What's not new?
I'll go first because I probably have less to say. Shit. We've reached that point in time where all my PTO in life is going to other people's things. And so I've been spending a lot of my last couple of weeks just like trying to find ways to turn PTO days into sick days and figure the hell out how I'm going to like do all this stuff. But other than that, man, the Niners won this past weekend.
That was a great ending.
I couldn't be happier. Yeah, that was nothing better than just bagging on Aaron Rodgers afterwards. It was just an amazing Saturday. So cannot complain on this side.
Right on.
Nice. Yeah, there we go. Niners. People in LA were like, it's kind of funny because I live in Los Angeles, so like, I don't know how as many Niners fans, but man, a lot of people were talking about that game at my work on Monday. So it was a very eyes are watching the Niners for sure.
Oh yeah, and now we got the Rams coming up this week, so it's a Parati rivalry game.
Yeah,
that's true. And that was another great game. That was
that one was down to the wire. Every game this week. I know you guys aren't like the biggest NFL fans, but like every single playoff game was decided at pretty much the last snap, which has never happened. All four games like that.
I was I saw Danny Rodriguez on Saturday, and we went down to the bar Connecticut Yankee.
Love that place.
And it was great. And I didn't realize the Niners were playing. It was the last quarter and a half or two. And that shit was electric. And then the next day, we're on this big walk and we're coming home. It's such a nice day. I'm going to get some beer from the liquor store and the games. And I'm like, shit, the Rams are killing it right now. I'm going to go home and watch the game. Lacey was like, ooh, who's this man watching football? And, but it was a good time. And I texted our dad, like, are you okay? Are you having a heart attack? But I texted him after the game. Yeah. I was like, their mission was to kill Ken Brown.
Well, that one was.
I texted him just to make sure that he was like well and breathing.
I hate the Rams, but I love your dad, so I'm always just like I'm rooting for them kind of because I just like want Ken to have a good day. But, like this past Sunday,
he's rooting them for our mother's sake.
Yeah, it's like God, just don't lose this damn game like this.
Right. I texted him, "You okay, pops?" And he said, "Just had a heart attack, but other than that, pretty good."
Okay, that's good. That's good.
He made it out alive.
Just put dinner in, so
yeah, for sure.
Oh man.
How about you, Maddie? What's new?
Nothing too crazy. Nothing new.
No?
Nah, I got engaged this past weekend,
Yeah,
so that's
dude.
pretty chill.
yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you, boys. Thank you. So another step in this little thing we call life. So that's fun. And then been watching some good shows lately. So I'm all caught up on Euphoria, which is
I
I don't know
gotta
if you guys
hit
were
that show.
Euphoria
Good.
people.
Joey talked
watch
about it. Oh, I watched the first few episodes, but it's not like I didn't like the show. I just kind of fell off it. So, but
It's
Joey,
very, very good.
we talked about this last episode because Joey watched the show, and I think he watched the 2 seasons that are out right now, right?
All caught up. I
All
binged
caught up,
it.
right?
It's great.
Yeah.
So
I
I've
gotta
been
watch the
watching that.
specials.
The specials they left a lot to be desired. They were fine, but they weren't as good as like the regular seasons. And then I'm trying to power through Ozark right now. So I just watched episode, I think 4 of the new season, and there's 7 of them. So I'm trying to not go through all my fix at once. I'm trying to spread it out a little bit.
Yeah, I've been doing the same with shows. Like, I mean, of course, when you have like shows that come out and all the episodes come out, and you can like pretty much binge it. Like, these days I'm in a mood to like, spread them out because I want to enjoy and like bask in it. Because shows like, I mean, I could probably give an example like Stranger Things, like the last season. I like hardly remember what happened in that last season because I just went through it so quickly and exposed myself to whatever was going on in the story. But
You exposed yourself?
exposed in not in that way.
You got guts talking about that on air.
But Euphoria, I gotta check that one out, man. I've been my roommate watches it.
A lot of dick. There's a lot of soft
So
dicks.
much dick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you thought Game of Thrones had a lot of soft dong. Euphoria takes the cake.
All right.
For sure.
I gotta prepare for that one then.
I saw somebody on Instagram was playing a game. I think every time there's sex or you see a penis, you take a shot during Euphoria, and they were fucking wasted by the end of that episode.
Yeah. By one episode already, dude.
Oh man. Yeah, you'll get alcohol poisoning off 30 minutes of that show. Hey, you don't watch it, do you, Al?
No, but I've been watching the original Euphoria. I actually started watching the OC again with my girlfriend. So yeah, getting into the teen drama, the original
teen dramas,
Euphoria.
Dude. Yeah.
Dude. She's only seen this, which is kind of embarrassing from my side to be like, I've seen every episode. But
I should be proud.
Yeah, I'm pretty proud of it. Just always getting back to the Sandy Cohen days. So
yeah, dude.
Yeah,
I remember watching the OC.
train.
Yeah.
Great show.
Nice. Got some shows.
I'm out the loop on the OC, but that's okay.
Had good soundtracks.
It's
That's
like
what I remember.
teen version of like Entourage characters. It's just like a bunch of Entourage characters.
Yeah, you kind of hit on the nail, Alex. Yeah, for sure.
they all like talk way too smart or like too adult for their age or anything like that.
Yeah, I think they're a
look
bunch of
like
like
32.
Yeah.
32-year-olds playing 16-year-olds.
Yeah, that wouldn't work. That wouldn't work now. But what can we do? Well, gentlemen, you're here for a reason. The show is called Top Fives. We like to count down some lists, and you gave us a list of 5 topics to choose from, and we chose the one that enticed us the most. Top 5 movie deaths. Really excited to get to this list. So we discussed beforehand, we're gonna do a little snake style. So we're going to start at number 5. Jonathan, I give you the power to choose who goes first.
Let our guests go first. So how about Alex? How about you start off?
There you go. Alex chose the topic, so let's let him kick.
There we go.
All right.
There we go.
So before I jump into it, is there a list of priorities? Is it like, number 1 overall, or do you just kind of like list them in no order, really?
Personal preference. Like if you have it ranked, but it's not required.
I'm going to start with something that's very simple. I'll save the deep cuts for later on. The first one that came to mind, the kid in me, I got to say Mufasa and Lion King.
Yo.
Great, very nice.
Yes.
That one still gets me as a 30-year-old. That one was like the first like dramatic scene we probably saw as kids growing up when we saw Lion King for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't do it. It's just, that one got me. It still does. And Lion King's my favorite like Disney movie, so I feel like I have to put him on the list.
Great film.
Nice. That was pretty, especially for how young we were when we watched that movie, and like not really maybe knowing the concept of death, especially in an animated form. I think is such a it was a very, when you think about it now and when you rewatch The Lion King, it definitely holds still some of that weight. Man.
Very good.
Real tearjerker.
Love that.
get us started
Maddie.
on a serious note. All right. Well, I guess I'm going to go with my number 5. This one, I don't know the movie. I haven't seen the movie as many times as something like Lion King or something else. But this one is probably more on like the brutal scale of deaths. So I'm going to go with Edward James Olmos' death in American Me. He plays he plays the character Montoya Santana. I don't know if you fellas have seen American Me.
I have, yes. It's been a while.
I've
But...
seen the clip because you sent me the clip.
It's pretty much the last scene in the movie. And if people don't know, sorry about the spoilers. It's about the like formation of the Mexican mafia, which is like one of the most brutal gangs in the prison system. And this guy is technically the leader. And his gang thought that he was getting too soft because he didn't want someone killed for something they did. So they in turn shanked him to death in prison and then threw him off the top balcony of the cell.
Hell yeah.
That is brutal.
So it's a very brutal scene. I don't think I've ever pound for pound seen any more shanking going on in my
How many
life.
shanks would you say, like counting?
Well, I don't know if it's harder to count the shanks or the number of inmates that were shanking him. But I would probably say north of 550 shanks. It was just like nonstop. I'll send you boys in the group text the scene. I have it on my phone, but it's pretty fucked up. Yeah. Good movie though. Great death scene as far as brutality goes.
Damn.
Very
I like
nice.
it. Nice.
Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you.
Jonathan, would you like to go next? Would you like I to go next?
You go next, Joey.
All right. This is tough. I didn't put them in any like order. I have so many runners ups and things. You went sentimental. You went brutal. I'm gonna go funny, and I'm gonna say the death of the old man in Clerks. So some setup for you. The old man comes in the middle of the movie and he keeps bothering Dante. Can I use the bathroom? No. All right, fine. Can I get some nice toilet paper? Can I get a nudie magazine? And then you don't see him for the rest of the movie. And then fast forward to near the end, spoilers. Dante's ex-girlfriend who he's trying to get back together with comes. They're about to go on a date. When he gets off, she's like, I'm just going to go use the bathroom real quick. Dante's going to meet me here. She comes back and she's just had mind-blowing sex and is just still like vibrating, you know? And she's like, Dante, it's never been like that. You just let me sit there and do everything. That was amazing. And he's like, what are you talking about? I wasn't in the bathroom. Cut to the old man dead. And it turns out because of the nudie mags he was jerking off, had a heart attack, died on the toilet. Rigor mortis, kept his erection, and then she was into the bathroom and accidentally
Forgot about
him. Yeah, there we go. I don't know what else to say about that.
Definitely a different direction than we went.
Yes.
It is a good reveal though in the movie because
Yeah.
you literally don't see that character for like the next few scenes until it
You
gets
forget
brought
about
up. You forget about him, yeah.
And you know the kicker? Dante wasn't even supposed to be there that day.
He wasn't even supposed to be there that day.
That's fucked up.
God,
Yeah.
so fucking funny.
What do you call that when you have sex with dead people? And when it's
Necrophilia.
Like
Necrophilia,
yeah,
yeah.
necrophilia. Yeah. Accidental necrophilia.
Yep. Alrighty.
All right,
So-
Shawnee, what's your number 5?
Number 5. I actually watched this movie with my family Christmas time. It's Forrest Gump, and the character that dies in the movie is Bubba from Forrest Gump. Yeah. So this one's not as like obviously the brutal one as far as like just very blatant violence, but I mean Bubba as a character and the kind of relationship and friendship he has with Forrest Gump. You know, of course they meet each other going to the military in the movie. They become really, good friends in boot camp, and then they go off to war. And the scene is pretty much they're in Vietnam and they're getting attacked, and they're asked to pretty much, run out of the area because they're going to be killed and shot. And Forrest Gump is like, I gotta find Bubba. It's like, I gotta find my best friend. And it's, he keeps going back and he finds another person he has to save, or he saves like another one of his crew, brings him back. And then he finally comes across Bubba, his best friend. And he's just sitting there. He's got obviously been shot. He's got blood everywhere. And it's just one of those moments where, one, it's, obviously Forrest Gump, he's obviously been in the military and fighting and stuff, but, a very significant death that he witnesses. And it's someone who he, has grown to really care for and everything like that. So it's definitely the most, it definitely does a little switch up in the movie too, because it, it changes kind of what happens, kind of moving forward, especially after he comes back from Vietnam.
He's got to do the shrimp boat now in Bubba's honor.
And that's the thing too. Yeah. It's kickstarts that whole thing of him honoring his request and, starting Bubba Gump shrimp and everything like that. So yeah, it's, every time I watch that movie, it's always a hard scene to watch. Cause you could tell their chemistry and the way they, treat each other in the movie. They're really, really good friends. And, of course, Forrest Gump has been kind of picked on most of his life and everything like that. And, it was one of his true friends that he really made while he was in. Yeah, great film too.
Also, one of the better undercover lines in that movie, when the drill sergeant's yelling in Forrest's face, "How did you put that gun together so quick, Gump?" He said, "Because you told me to, drill sergeant."
Sergeant.
God damn, you could have been a sergeant or something.
He's like,
Yeah.
say it loud,
Damn
because
drill.
you told me to, drill sergeant.
Yeah, and of course the scenes with Bubba, and they're like, he's pretty much telling him all the things you can make shrimp with, and it's just hilarious every time you watch it. So, yeah,
Great movie.
Bubba
Good
Gump.
pick.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Sean, you
I had
get
that on
another
the
one.
list.
Snake
That was a
Style.
good one.
Oh, Snake Style. So we're going me again. So, I've got. This one's kind of a weird sentimental one, and but it always gets me every time I watch this movie. It's from the movie Pixar's Up, and it's Ellie, the wife character of the main guy, and it literally, her death happens pretty much in the first few minutes of the movie because
Fucked up.
yeah, it is really really messed up and
Tough one.
it is a tough one, and it's like I've never watched a movie where, I mean, it's very rare that you see a death scene or some sort of you like losing a character in the first like few minutes, but like it really hits every single time I watch it because just them showcasing obviously their relationship together throughout the years as they were kind of young adults, going into being older adults, and it's just so obviously sets up the character later on in the movie and how he kind of feels about other characters, and he's kind of a Grinch a little bit to some degree. So yeah, I think it's one of those kind of emotionally hitting deaths that really sets up kind of the feel for the movie and the the heartfelt stuff that kind of comes up later in the movie and kind of builds. And as the characters kind of connect with each other throughout the movie, I think it just kind of sets that off. So, yeah, it's a big one. It's definitely a big one. I always get super like just, oh man, this is just, it's kind of hard to watch sometimes. You're like, man, this is how and especially for Pixar, usually catering towards the kids, the children audience, and also kind of the adult themes that are kind of underlying throughout it. It really hits, and that's the kind of thing that I think of sometimes where it's like, yeah, I don't know if kids will necessarily understand what this is about when they're watching this, but I know adults watching this will kind of feel for losing someone that's really close to you that you've known for through marriage and through all those years and everything. So yeah,
Great movie.
And if I'm not mistaken, there's like not too much dialogue. It's just like a music like a song in the background.
Yeah,
There's nothing, right?
Yeah.
You just kind of like go with the score until
And
like
it still gets
she
you.
just goes, and you're just like, fuck, they didn't even say a word.
Dude, you're
It was,
totally
beautiful
right.
images.
I don't even know what she sounds like.
I don't know what he sounds like. I'm like 10 minutes into this movie.
Yeah.
What a film, though. I watched it for the first time during the beginning of the panty. So like about 2 years ago, and man, that shit took me out. Great movie though.
Yeah.
Great movie.
The moment, like in the beginning montage or whatever, and she gives him that the album of all our memories and everything. Oh, Shawnee, we're running out of time
That's cool.
on Zoom.
I'll temporarily upgrade it. Sorry, guys.
Okay. Right.
I didn't realize I was on my personal account, so
let me know if you need me to Venmo you.
Let me fix that real quick. Whoops.
We'll all kick in.
But she gives him that scrapbook, our memories and everything, and then in the middle of the movie he opens it up and you kind of see the life that they did wind up having together and everything, and I lose it all over again. That's a beautiful movie. Yeah. All right, is it me?
On you, Joe.
All right. Number 4, I'm gonna go with an older movie, Detour from 1945. This is a really fun, wonderful, like low budget B movie kind of. It incorporates all the tropes of film noir and that kind of stuff, and it's a lot of fun. It's a guy, kind of a shady character. He's a musician trying to get to LA to be with his girlfriend from the East Coast. Along the way, the guy who gave him a ride dies, and he's in a scramble. He thinks, oh, the cops will think it's me. So he hides the body, takes the car. Lo and behold, he picks up a woman who had been riding with the guy before. So now she's kind of blackmailing him into, we're going to sell the car. I'm going to keep all the money. You're my prisoner until, we're clear, basically. And near the end of the movie, she's like, I'm going to call the cops. I'm going to fucking do it. Whoa. And she runs into the other room. And he's like, no, Vera, don't. And he pulls the phone cord and he's yanking it. And then you hear nothing. And he opens the door. And she had wrapped the phone cord around her throat, and he just yanked so hard that she died. It's
that's brutal.
It's brutal. It's funny. It's cinematic. It's it's absurd and ridiculous, and but it always sticks out to me. It feels very like one of a kind to me. But yeah, Detour. Check that movie out. It's only like an hour long, but it's fantastic.
Is it black and white?
It is.
I'll keep it. It sounds like a sick death scene. So
it's funny. It's good. It's a good time. All right, Maddie.
Next one. I'm just gonna take something out of my favorite movie of all time, and I'm going to go with The Departed. And the death scene that I'm gonna choose, excuse me, is when Colin Sullivan at the very end finally gets murked by Sergeant Dignam. Inside of his upscale, his upscale Boston condo. But it just feels like justice because obviously Colin had just killed Leo's character, and Anthony Anderson, who we love very much. Yep. His girlfriend that he impregnated wanted nothing to do with him. The dogs inside the condo, their neighbors didn't even want him to pet the dogs. Everyone knew he was a scumbag. He gets into his place, and then who's waiting for him in a full jumpsuit and like he's got the booties over his shoes? Fucking Mark Wahlberg, Sergeant Dignam. And my favorite part too is that he sees him and he goes, okay, and then pops him right in the head. Sweet victory, sweet revenge, and then it all ties back in. Shout out to Marty Scorsese. You see the rat crawling on the rail outside the window.
Hey.
And, just masterpiece of a movie, finishes off beautifully.
Hell yeah.
I literally had that one up next, and there's like tons of different. Yeah, I was ready to say that one. Wow. And I was like, I thought about like Jack Nicholson's death in it, like even Leo's death is kind of about it. Like there's so many like good deaths.
Yeah.
But I think like towards the end of the movie, you just fucking hate Matt Damon. Not that you like him throughout the movie, but like towards the end when he's like in the elevator, just like begging to be killed, and that he's just like, just fucking kill me, man. Just fucking kill me. Like, and then he gives away, and then the last thing is like the only person who we thought was like missing for the rest of the movie, Marky Mark.
Fucking
just gets him out. That was a good one.
He's he's not in it. I mean, he's one of the more top billing actors in that movie just because he's Mark Wahlberg, but he's not even in it that much. But the role that he has and the time on screen is fucking powerful.
It's great, yeah.
I think he was nominated for that.
Was he really? For supporting actor?
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious as to what his total runtime would be in that movie. It's got to be on screen. What, like 16 minutes? It can't be that long.
I'd say something
Somewhere
I'd
around
say
that,
even
yeah.
less. Yeah, more closer to
great
10
job.
probably.
Sure. But yeah,
But yeah.
I'm gonna go with Colin Sullivan getting
Very nice.
murdered by Dignam. What do you got, Al? Now that I stole that.
All right, now I got to shift up a little bit. So I'm gonna go with one. It's a movie we've all seen plenty of times. It's one that like I recently, over the pandemic time, really got into it. Where I started with the book, watched the movie twice. Another one of those movies where it's like there's a lot of deaths, there's a lot of favorite characters, but I picked like a combination of my favorite death and character, and I'm going Sonny Corleone and Godfather.
Right on.
Like,
Ultimate death scene.
there's so many good deaths in that movie. Like I was like between like 5 different ones, but like he's the older brother, he's the hothead, he's kind of has that thing going on with Carlo, his brother-in-law, and he just gets so pissed after Carlo beats his wife's ass, that he just like ignores all the rule. Like everybody's like, stop, don't go out there, and gets set up right at the toll booth and just gets lit up like old style movie style, where it's just like you're talking about getting shanked 1,000 times, he gets shot probably like 15,000 times by Soloso's crew.
They were unloading rounds into him on that bridge.
And he doesn't like, he's just like gyrating the whole time and still like cursing them because he's like still so angry. He's just like, bah! Obviously it was a setup. James Caan just crushes that role. Yeah, dude, Sonny Corleone's death was a great one. Not really even sad, not like I guess you could say brutal, just like
I'd say powerful
death in the movie. Yeah,
Powerful, yeah.
Great one.
Nice.
That was
That's
on
a
my,
good
on
one.
my list as well. That was a really good one. It's also crazy to think James Caan, like Sonny Corleone, is also James Caan from Kicking and Screaming.
This is true.
and James Caan from Elf, and like
That's what I'm saying. Like the range on this fucking guy.
yeah.
End of tweet. He's on
got a
Twitter.
nice
He's
like
funny on
curly
Twitter.
hair too. Oh yeah,
Wait,
he's hilarious.
He's a Twitter guy?
Oh, big time Twitter guy.
Oh, I have to follow him. I didn't know that.
Yeah. He just will post a picture and just say end of tweet.
Nice.
And it.
He's funny.
Jimmy
Fine.
Caan.
You know his son, right? Scott Caan?
Oh, I love Scott Caan. You kidding me?
Scott Caan?
Tweeter?
Yeah. I just didn't know. I didn't know if you knew they were related.
I do.
Right on.
Another one, Al.
let's see. Oh yes.
Oh, I got two.
Back to Bizak.
All right, so I got a childhood one. I got like a classic movie. I'm gonna go with the comedy, and this one I think everybody knows like the quote following the death.
Don't
but
take it.
It's just I'm going with Blue from Old School.
Oh, you my
The
boy.
old man in Old School. He's like the pledge who's like 85 years old.
Yeah.
You kind of just like have him just like, dude, what's Blue doing here? He's like, and the way he dies is they have that like big party in the basement where they get all the KY jelly and have the girls wrestle each other.
Yeah.
And for me, like when Old School came out, I was just on that cusp of like teenage life where I'm starting to like see R-rated movies. I'm pretty sure it was like my first like pair of tits I've seen on like a movie. And like he gets in the booth or in the pool with the two girls, and they're just like, "Come on, old man! Come on, old man!" And he just like goes, he just goes blank, and they got the music in the background, like the chanting songs, and he just falls back, and everybody kind of just goes quiet and dead on the scene. And then you get the famous scene from Will Ferrell at his funeral singing "Dust in the Wind."
Dust in the Wind, dude.
You're my boy, Blue.
That's the best part.
Oh my god.
So yeah, Blue from Old School.
I love the
Just
seamless.
a hilarious death.
I love the seamless transition from like the kiddie pool filled with oil to Will Ferrell just like singing his heart out and crying.
Yeah.
It's perfect. Who directed that one, Joe? Is that a Fairley
Todd
Brothers?
Phillips.
Todd Phillips, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's his best movie. He'll now say Joker. I don't think so.
Did I see
Todd
that in
Phillips,
theaters
yeah.
with you, or did you and Andrew go see it?
Me and Andrew went and saw that.
Gotcha. Classic flick.
Yeah. God, there was that summer though, or 2 summers, I guess, where it was Old School, Wedding Crashers, Team America,
just
American Wedding.
Summer of comedies. Yeah.
Just-
Like really
yeah.
good comedies.
They don't
They
make
don't-
them like that anymore. I hate
Yeah,
it.
that's
Sound like
right.
an old
You're right.
fuck.
Yeah.
Well, they don't make comedies anymore, really. It's either the
Netflix.
big budget Spider-Man's or whatever, or it's your indie 5 people saw it, so they give it an Oscar kind of movie. Like there's no mid-budget R-rated comedies anymore. It sucks.
Those are the best ones.
They're my favorite.
A funny story about the one thing I'll say about Old School is so that day I watched it. I happened to be in LA visiting family, and we're in Beverly Hills, and we're getting coffee at the famous Earth Cafe, and Will Ferrell's actually there, like having a coffee, and like he's just kind of sitting there, and he's not getting like harassed by anybody, and like my parents knew who he was because like they loved his like Saturday Night Live stuff. I didn't really know who he was at the time, like. Kids that are like 11, 12 years old don't know who he is really, unless they're like big SNL fans. And so we drive all the way back home to the Bay Area, and my dad and mom want to watch Old School. And we happened to watch Old School that night, the same day we saw him in LA.
No way.
And like from there, like just the whole family was like crying, laughing. I think seeing him that day in like a very like calm setting to like 10 hours later seeing him like in his underwear like slamming chairs against the locker room. You gotta keep our composure. Like just like a perfect day to like see him as a person and then see him as that character Frank like 12 hours later was just insane.
Yeah, incredible.
It's one of my. It's funny enough. You have a family story. It's one of my dad's like favorite movies. Like it's like
the dad movie.
The dad movie for sure. Because I think of just the ridiculousness that comes with Will Ferrell being on screen and just the heights he goes to make people laugh in his movies. So
yeah, he's the best.
Tackling people in the pool,
yelling in like the pledge's wife's face.
You're crazy, man.
Yeah.
You're crazy.
Takes like the cheese puffs out of her bag.
One in your bag.
Another incredible like gift that we got from Old School is it reminds me every time AB would have a house party when his parents would be away.
Yes.
If you guys remember, they used to call them Mitchapalooza in the
Mitchapalooza
in the movie, but Alex's sister's nickname is Diz, and it just fits perfectly. Even though she wouldn't even be home, we'd be like, "Hey, we're having a Dizzapalooza."
Hey.
Shout out to Old School for giving us that.
Yeah.
Incredible. Let's see. Is that on your boy?
That's on you.
That's on.
All right. I'm going to go with this one's kind of cheating because I'm kind of picking the scene before the death scene, but I feel like the death scene goes hand in hand with this one. I feel like you guys will know what I'm talking about when I say it, but I'm taking in Training Day when Denzel, his death scene. So if you guys remember in Training Day, the whole like object of the movie for the most part is he owes these like Russians money, and he's pretty much trying to collect the money to pay them off the entire movie. They realize he's not going to be able to get that money because good old Jake gets in the way and stops him from it. And they light him up at a stoplight just with a bunch of cars. But the scene before that is one of the best scenes in film history, and that's the scene that I'm choosing. And that's the one where Denzel is stuck in the projects, and he just goes on one of the best like pre-death monologues I've ever heard, condemning everyone in the projects. I'm gonna put a case on all of y'all. He calls him a disloyal, fool-ass, bitch-made punk. He tells them they're going to be playing basketball in Pelican Bay, shoe program. Just one of the best. And by the end, he's talking shit with like a bent Newport. Yeah, King Kong ain't got shit on me. It's incredible. Joe, you haven't seen that movie, huh?
I don't think I've finished it. I've seen bits of it, but I haven't seen all of it.
Yeah, the ending.
Fucking incredible.
Yeah.
I own it too.
I'm not the biggest Ethan Hawke guy, but Jake fucking does his thing in that movie.
Yeah.
Ethan Hawke has gotten better with age.
Like a fine wine.
He is like a fine wine. I like him a lot now, but I didn't before.
But yeah, the just the name calling and the monologue that Denzel goes on in that one is second to none.
Hell yeah.
You mentioned the crumpled like Newport. That's like the funniest part.
Yeah.
That thing in his hand.
As he's
been
talking
like
shit.
Shot a little bit by Jake to kind of like neutralize him a little bit, and he's just like hung up against him. Yeah, that's what it was. Shot me in my ass. He just like hung up against his like sick ass like Lincoln, and he's just like, I'm gonna pull out this cigarette, talk my shit, and I'm probably gonna die soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the best.
It's
and
an iconic
I watched
scene.
like all these before when I was preparing for the show, and still pulling that 3-minute clip up on YouTube is one of the best.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Denzel at his best, man.
Yep.
Is this me now?
It's on you, Joe. I'm keeping track of the snake. Don't worry.
Beautiful. I'm going to go with, I guess, maybe fairly obvious, but Saving Private Ryan, Captain Miller. The best part about this death scene is, you've been with Tom Hanks this whole way. He's Tom Hanks, so you already are on his side and you love him. And he has risked all of these guys' lives to find Matt Damon's character, Ryan. And he gets shot, in that big set piece at the end, and he's like trying to shoot the tank and everything. And I think Edward Burns goes to him and he's like, you've been shot. Let's get a medic over here. And then he runs off. Matt Damon walks up and he's like, earn this, earn it. And I don't know, that shit gets me every time. That plus Matt Damon morphing into old Matt Damon. And then ending on the headstones and the flag and everything, like, fuck. That shit gets me every single time. But the earn this, it applies specifically to the Matt Damon character because he gets to go home. But it applies to everybody that gets to go home. When we made that documentary 10 years ago with my Uncle Mike and my buddy Josh about Vietnam and Afghanistan, my Uncle Mike, is like, you feel guilty when you come back home. Why me? And I think that's such a beautiful kind of summation of, just don't ask why, just earn it. Earn the right to be back home. And live a good life. I don't know. I love that scene. But yeah.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Really good movie.
Also a wild connection when you realize that the sniper is also played Roger Maris.
Barry Pepper.
The home run king is also just like a perfect marksman.
Yeah.
Saying like, God give me strength, Hail Mary full of grace. Like, oh man. Wonderful.
And a young Vin Diesel, right?
Yeah.
Young Vinny D.
No
Vinny
shit.
D, y'all. Yeah.
You seen Private Ryan now?
I have, but I need to go back to the cast and remember some of like the side characters.
I know. I got to watch it again too. It's such a good movie.
Yeah.
It's just an investment. It's so long.
It is. But Paul Giamatti's in it. Fucking Bryan Cranston pops
There's a
up.
lot of, yeah.
Phoebe's
Ted
brother
Danson.
from Friends.
Giovanni Ribisi.
Yeah,
Yes.
Giovanni, yeah.
Yeah, he's really funny.
I'll never forget watching it growing up at the Meninas and seeing the one little bitch character, the guy who is like the writer and didn't, has never been in combat, and he lets the German get away, who winds up killing, half the fucking squad. And at the end of the movie, he takes the gun and shoots the one German that he let go originally. And I'll never forget Nick Manita going, "You learned something about combat, didn't you, boy?" But like, and that's a wild thing too, because like as a kid, the world is very black and white. Fuck that guy. He let the bad guy get away and he killed your friends. But then as you watch it, as a person, as an adult with experiences, you're like, shit, could I kill someone just point blank like that? I don't know.
Yeah. Don't want to find out.
No.
Rather not.
Yeah.
Shawnee, what is your number 3?
Number 3, going with another departed character, Billy Costigan, played by Leo.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah. to take yours, Joey. I mean, Joe, you could still say it for your list, but when you see the movie for the first time, this death like just totally caught me off guard.
Dude.
It's
like a Game of Thrones style surprise.
It literally was,
Yes.
Like coming out of the elevator, and he gets literally shot point blank, and then the kind of preceding events that happen, and you kind of get to know who has been, kind of watching them this whole time and all this kind of stuff. But it really caught me off guard because you spend most of the movie following his character and Matt Damon's character, and they're kind of dueling. These two kind of trying to find each other and find out who the rat is and all that kind of stuff. And then Leo's character kind of trying to infiltrate, undercover. So it's, you're kind of rooting for Leo the whole time. Like, oh, is he going to kind of get through this? And it kind of happens. Like, I don't want to say it's like halfway through the movie, but it's it's not the very end of the movie, or it kind of, I don't know, it kind of happens. I mean, that's probably why it caught me off guard the most, because you would think, this kind of thing would probably happen, as the movie's maybe concluding, or this character may get close to death to some degree, but he'll probably come out surviving and everything like that. But yeah, it always shocks me. Always shocks me. Joke's on me. And when I rewatch the movie, even though I know it's coming, and even though it's a scene that I remember the most about the movie, it always shocks me every single time, because it's just how sudden and quick it happens. How even the scene itself isn't really set up. You don't really have a hint of what's coming in the previous scenes before. So I think that is what of course Scorsese as a filmmaker does really well, to give you that feeling of, things are going to be okay. We're just kind of going through the movements, trying to get.
You had Damon handcuffed.
Yes, and he was in a position.
He was sniveling, asking him to get killed.
Just
fucking kill me.
Yeah. So
I am.
It was like Anthony Anderson comes out of nowhere. Isn't it him?
Drop your weapon.
Yeah.
Step away from Sergeant Sullivan.
If that may be true.
That's right. It may be true. You know me. Incredible. My favorite movie of all time. What can I say?
It is one of my favorites too, man. So Billy Costigan in The Departed.
Very nice.
Nice pick, Sean. You got another one up?
Number 2. This one's kind of I feel like a lot of people will talk about this on-screen death with the MCU, but Iron Man dying in Endgame. We were, Joey and I were talking about, just kind of seeing kind of movies like Spider-Man No Way Home, in theaters, like opening week. I remember seeing Endgame like opening, I think it was like opening night or day, like a Thursday night or something. And just being in the theater, like witnessing that scene happen, and just like the you could feel everyone just kind of, it was just such an interesting experience. One, as a theater experience, and kind of seeing that and kind of feeling with everyone else. And obviously seeing a character that you followed since the first Iron Man movie. And, he's become, one, a leader to all the Avengers and all the other characters in the movies. Obviously Spider-Man, introduction of Spider-Man, he looks up to Iron Man. There's these themes of sacrifice and all these kind of things that, Tony Stark learned throughout the movies, and he could be a smartass and all that kind of stuff, but he truly made the biggest sacrifice in the movie, and he kind of all the other movies leading up to it kind of led to that as well. So and just that line, "I am Iron Man," and he gets the stones and he does the snap and everything, and it's just so freaking you could feel for it. And of course they give you the actual death scene after, where he's sitting there and Pepper Potts comes up and says her goodbyes, and we have Peter Parker saying his goodbyes, and it's such an emotional scene, especially if you've been following the MCU movies and Iron Man for 10 odd, more than 10 years now. But yeah, it was a big scene, and as a fan, and also as just seeing it in theaters, I thought that was a very interesting experience to witness an on-screen death for the first time when you're seeing it, and you're like, holy shit, I can't believe they killed Iron Man in this movie. And and of course it sets off kind of the rest of the movies moving forward, and kind of the how they address Tony Stark missing from this world was also an interesting kind of ripple effect throughout the movies too. So yeah,
good death.
Right on.
An honorable death.
Yeah. I'm sure that one in the theaters was probably one of the most powerful live experiences you can have from a movie perspective.
Oh yeah,
like you said, just that build up to how much you've invested in all these movies, and just to see the head honcho just get killed like that. I've seen both of the Avengers, Infinity War and Endgame, but I haven't seen anything else. And even for me, that one was holy shit.
Yeah,
I did not expect Iron Man to die. I thought it was fake for a second. I don't know.
Yeah,
Incredible.
it's definitely it definitely adds that kind of weight to it. And yeah, I think after Endgame, it's, I mean, yeah, there've been different movies, and they're trying to obviously introduce other characters, but it has been, those were kind of my issues with, like, Joey. I could agree. I think with Spider-Man, and Tom Holland's Peter Parker is like the kind of like, he's trying to be like Iron Man, or the kind of under Iron Man. But I think they did a good job just to, like, build us to that scene. And yeah, man, I mean, yeah, that experience in the theater was just like nothing else, man. I'm just trying to remember, like, how it was, and I remember, like, a lot of people being gasping and, like, being so shocked. One, being, like, amped that he said, "I am Iron Man," but after he hit that snap, you knew, like, oh man, this guy is not coming back from this at all. And this will probably be the end of Tony Stark Iron Man, like, in this MCU, like, saga of, like, just tons of movies building up. So yeah, it was a huge one, and I feel very fortunate to witness it in theaters, because seeing it for the first time, I think, is always, when you see a on-screen death, or a death in a movie, anything that for that first time, better. On-screen's better, dude. Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
Very nice. It was a good two.
That's
a good number two. Yeah. My number two is a lot less reverent. There's a scene in a little movie called Austin Powers, and they're infiltrating Dr. Evil's lair, and they get on one of those cement truck things with the rollers. And about 100 yards away, there's a Dr. Evil 4-H henchman, and he's just going, "Snow! Snow!" And the way he's so far away, and it's going so slow. And I
get out of the way.
I forgot all about that death.
I think about that death maybe daily.
It's
one of my favorite. I think there's actually there's like a mid-credit scene where his wife gets a call, and she's like, "Yes, my husband works for Dr. Evil's lair."
I remember that. Yeah.
What? And it's very funny.
They killed it with those
and
movies.
That's especially the first two. But he's the guy from Mad TV. It's Stewart.
What's his name?
I always forget.
It's not McDonald.
McDonald? I forget.
Ooh.
But it's that actor, and he comes back in the second one. He's the guy who puts on Jerry Springer when he's supposed to be watching the satellite. Yeah.
Oh, you're right. Yep.
Michael McDonald.
Michael McDonald. Thank you.
Not to be confused with the jazz
Norm.
Yes. Nice. That's a good one.
All right.
I forgot all about that scene. That's so fucking funny.
Honestly,
I was gonna say, what sells that scene so much is the framing, because the joke is he's so far away. Yeah, he's so far away from the vehicle that they're on, so it's like it just sells the joke so much.
It's so fun. It's brilliant.
And the extreme close-ups
too. That's a perfect
too.
type of joke for Austin Powers. It's like the same.
Exactly.
It hits the same way with Austin trying to, like, back up the go-kart.
Exactly.
In the fucking hallway.
It gets bigger.
Getting stuck. Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah, and that honestly, this was probably the first death that came to mind when trying to form this list. So there you go.
All right, well then I will, in that spirit, this is the first death that came to my mind when we brought this up. I'm gonna get my comedy death out of the way, and mine is from Pineapple Express when Red kills Matheson, and he delivers the classic movie line. You just got killed by a Daewoo Lanos, motherfucker.
Yeah.
And then after he gets out of the car and sees Matheson is dead, he proceeds to shoot his foot off with a shotgun. And I forget if it was him or somebody else just went, ugh. But I probably say that line weekly. I think that would be a conservative thing to say. You just got killed by. Anytime I see a Daewoo, which is probably more common than you would think, I have to say, you got killed by a Daewoo Lanos, motherfucker. And I mean, Red is great. Matheson is fucking hilarious in that movie. So those two guys together, Danny McBride and Craig Robinson, are just magic on the screen.
Yeah. Nice.
So yeah, that would be mine.
Little Pineapple Express.
Very good. Very good.
Is it my
you got
one now?
The last two to finish us off.
Last two. All right. So the first one I'm gonna do, going back to Boston, one of my favorite movies. I'm going with Jim Coughlin from The Town.
The
Town.
The last one I had.
The Ben Affleck movie, where this is like in the final scene where they're doing the last hit for the old Irish guy at the flower shop, Fergie. And they're all kind of sick of it. Ben Affleck kind of has his like getaway, like go find love, happily ever after, like scheme for after this hit job. Coughlin is like his best friend, but also kind of like the one who has like the funny lines throughout the movie where he's like kind of like the hard ass of the group. And the way he goes out is he pretty much gets cornered after getting shot a couple times. He's dressed up like a cop as they kind of go undercover to rob Fenway Park. And he's hiding behind like a newspaper stand. And John Hamm, who's like the lead detective, he's just like, "We got you cornered, Coughlin." And he's sitting there and he just screams out in a very like faint but like really thick like Boston accent, "Fuck you." He's like, "You're surrounded, Coughlin."
Coughlin, throw down your weapon.
He's just holding like a police grade like machine gun, and he knows his life. He's done, and he's next to a trash can too, and he sees like a half-eaten burger and like a sip left of someone else's like Diet Coke or whatever. And he just takes a quick bite of it, takes a sip, and he's like, "Come out, Coughlin." And he just does like one more like "fuck you," gets up and just like shoots and gets like popped like 3 times in the face, and he's out. And like just like such a badass way to die. Is Jeremy Renner's the actor who plays him. But like that like last bite of someone's burger in the trash in this episode is such a sick way to go out.
Yep. That is my favorite death scene. That was what I had up next. Great choice. Yeah. Also, another kicker is while that was all going on, punk ass Ben Affleck is just watching. He's still dressed like a cop.
That's right.
He blends in. He's just in the back of the crowd and has to watch his best friend get murdered. So,
sacrifice all his boys so he can skip town with the girl.
Yeah, what a pussy. But fantastic death scene. Can't get any better than Jem. And you were right, dude. The "fuck yo." It's one of the best ending lines ever.
Matt, are you keeping? Oh, sorry. Are you keeping that as your number one, Maddie?
No, I got something else to slide in there.
Word.
But
cool.
Are you guys the Town guys? John and Shoei? Have you guys seen?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's been a minute since I've seen the movie, but yeah, I remember it being very kind of similar to like The Departed. It had that kind of feeling for me, like watching it, just like you're just watching things unfold and you're getting very invested in what's happening in front of you. So it's very, there's some very intense scenes, but that I remember that death specifically, and just how it like goes down. So yeah.
The fucking slurp of the fountain soda on the sidewalk before he's about to just like do a kamikaze mission.
Yeah, it's unbeatable. So great.
Okay, I'm gonna surrender. And
that's what it is.
It's the only time I've liked Jeremy Renner.
Yeah.
Nice.
All you like is Coke and Xbox, okay? You come from the same parts.
Yeah, that movie has probably one of the most one-liners you could imagine. You got your last one up right now?
So my last one. All right. I have a long list. I'm gonna go with another comedy death, just for the hell of it. It's like the comedy version of Bubba's death in Forrest Gump. I'm going with Chubbs with Happy Gilmore. He's kind of like
Chubbs.
the side character. Like you fall in love with Chubbs. He's like the one who gets Adam Sandler to play golf. He's got like the broken hand. He's got like that story about the alligator who eats his hand. And just when Happy Gilmore starts figuring out how to golf, they have that like great day at the putt, and he like finally learns how to putt when he thinks about his grandma. And they go back to Chubbs' house, and Happy Gilmore's got a gift for him. He's like, "Remember that alligator that got your hand?" He's like, "I got his head." And he opens up the thing, and it's just like a big ass alligator. Yeah. Chubbs just goes, "Whoa!" Falls out of the window. His like hand goes like bouncing, and you just see like the one like Grizzly Adams had a beard guy. He just like happens to be there. He just looks up like,
oh my
So
god.
and like the last tournament he plays in, he dedicates Chubbs. Like he does like the handshake with his like fake hand on his like casket at the funeral. He's like,
That's right. I forgot about that. I forgot about the dead handshake.
Oh,
That's incredible.
Chubbs.
but it's like such a perfect like side character to go out like that, and it's like I don't know why I thought of it like Bubba going and Forrest Gump, but like you don't really expect him to die just because it's like an Adam Sandler movie. But it's like a death where you're like, oh man, Chubbs died. Like what the fuck?
Yeah.
Also, another sneaky great part is like at the very, very end when he sees Chubbs in the clouds and he's like, "Hey, Happy, I got my hand back."
Yeah.
He's singing and playing piano. He has a beautiful voice too. We've only just begun.
Yeah.
That's Apollo right there, man. Apollo
That
Creed.
is
Yeah.
Apollo Creed.
True.
Oh fuck, you're right. I don't know why I never like put two and two together. That's right.
Oh man, Chubbs. Nice. That's a good one, man.
What a good death.
Chubbs Patterson.
Okay, question. So is Happy responsible for his death? Because
Trauma is responsible.
yeah, okay. I'll take
The
that.
Gator
I'll
is
take that.
responsible for his
The
death.
Gator. Yeah.
I think you got to put it on Happy. That's just who Happy Gilmore is. He's a shit disturber.
gotta
He's
blame
responsible
someone.
for everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll gladly take it on. He'll take on the burden.
Yeah.
That's a
Very,
The
very
eye was
fair.
enough as a gift for taking his hand, you know.
Yeah.
Chubbs got his eye. It's like, I got his eye. It's
Yeah.
like a little jar.
That's a good
But
one.
yeah. All right,
That's awesome. Damn.
So I guess I got my last one. So Al took my I had The Town as my top one. So I'm just gonna go off the cuff here. I have a couple more, but I think this one, Bianca actually just reminded me of this before she left. It's from her favorite movie. I'm going blank on the character's name, so you guys will probably know it. But in The Patriot, when Mel Gibson finally murders that asshole general at the end who killed two of his sons.
Man.
I've watched that movie way too many times because it's her favorite. So anytime it's on, she's like, "Oh, The Patriot." I'm like, "Yeah, this is a lighthearted movie to just throw on in the middle of the day."
I
But
love that movie. I'll
it's a
watch
great
it in the
movie.
middle of the day with Bianca. Shit.
But you end up fucking hating that guy's guts so much. Like, not only does he kill Mel Gibson's son, he goes up to him later, rubs his nose in it. Oh, did he die? He fucks with him. Then he kills Heath Ledger. And finally, Mel Gibson gets sweet, sweet revenge at the end of the movie. And I think it's the last battle, right? I think he stabs him in the throat or something like that. It's pretty vicious.
Yeah, the like bayonet.
Yes. But probably one of the more rewarding and revengeful deaths in the movies that I've witnessed.
Oh heck yeah, man.
You guys know
Very good.
Yeah,
character-
Colonel. His name's Colonel Tavington. It's played by
Tavington.
Jason Isaacs is the actor's name.
Got it. Okay, yeah. So fuck that guy. He was a big piece of shit. But great and rewarding death scene, I will say.
Yeah.
I almost had Patriot on my list, but it was going to be for Gabriel, Heath Ledger's character.
Oh yeah, that was sad.
That is very sad. But yeah, that whole movie I think is fantastic. It doesn't get enough credit.
A lot of
But
death
you're-
scenes in that movie. We
A
could
lot
have
of
just done a
death scene.
Patriot death scene show.
You know, someday I'm down, and we'll have Bianca on for it. And
Yeah, I'm sure she would love to participate.
mine would also be the flagpole into the horse.
Oh.
What'd you say his name was, Sean? Turlington?
Tavington.
Havington.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's charging at him, and then Gibson goes down and then stabs the horse in the belly, and
Also,
when
seeing horses die or get like fucked up on camera really messes with me.
that's fair.
I don't like seeing
Oh.
something that big tower over it. It's fucked up.
We've got Bianca in the chat, and she says, "Don't forget about the people in the church." And you are so right.
Oh damn! Shout out
They
to baby
lock
girl.
The whole town. They
I
lock the
fucking
whole
love you,
town
girl.
in the
Yeah.
church. Including Heath Ledger's young wife,
That's
Oh,
right.
that's right.
who may or may not be pregnant.
When they made out and they had ink on their teeth.
Mm-hmm.
What a
They
movie.
tied him in a sack.
Yep, that's right. They stitched him up.
I looked that up not too long ago. I'm like, that was a real practice. Interesting.
Yeah, you gotta. If you're staying in your in-laws' house, they're gonna sew you into the bed so you don't fuck around.
Yeah. Sounds claustrophobic. I would have a panic attack.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll do it for your boy.
Yeah. Well, that's a great list. You both had excellent lists.
Thank you.
My number one was going to also be Billy Costigan from The Departed. I think it's the ballsiest death scene. It's so matter of fact. Matt, you got me that movie for my 18th birthday, and it was my first Scorsese. And I'd never seen anything like that where they had the balls to kill off the main character that way. I remember rewinding the movie, stopping it, rewinding it, on my first playthrough because I just couldn't believe it. But Shawnee, you took that. So I'm going to go with The Irishman. I was thinking about possibly Joe Pesci and his brother's character in Casino. But if I'm going for like maximum impact from a Scorsese flick, I could have done a top 5 Scorsese deaths.
Yeah, no problem right there, but yeah.
None. But I'm going to go with Jimmy Hoffa in The Departed, in The Irishman. The whole movie is wall to wall sound and music and imagery and blah, 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 blah. And it's 3.5 hours long. And around the 3-hour mark or whatever, the 2.5, 3-hour mark, De Niro, who has, you see him from a young 20 something all the way till, he's in his 60s or something. And he forms this relationship with Jimmy Hoffa, and it's this beautiful thing. Spoilers if you haven't seen it, I apologize. But around the 2.5, 2:45 mark, Joe Pesci gives him the order that he's going to have to kill Hoffa. And it's at this moment when he takes off in the plane to go meet with Hoffa. And it's this whole sequence where he's driving with Hoffa's son and the other guy, and they pick up Hoffa, they bring him back to the house, he shoots him, blah, 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 blah. He gets in a plane, he goes back. It's like a 20-minute sequence, and it's silent. There's no music or background noise or anything like that. It's just, them having a conversation and whatnot. And it's just, I didn't pick it up on my first watch through. And then kind of going back and being like, shit, it adds to the intensity of the moment. You know what's coming, and you know that it's gonna happen, and it just kind of digs in even farther. There's something so masterful and simple about just pop music, but nothing. All right, now we're back, and it's just it's insane. Yeah, I know, Matt, I couldn't get you to finish The Irishman. Alex, have you seen it?
I have seen it.
Yeah.
I need to go back and watch it though. I watched it like in between like 2 flights. It was like part of it on my way to somewhere and part of it on my way back. But
yeah,
you described that scene, which I do remember much more vividly than I do remember the scene itself. So I got to check it out.
It's just heartbreaking. They pick him up, and Pacino gets in the back seat, and there's De Niro, and they just hug each other like old friends, like brothers. And he's like, "I love you, Frank. You know that. You know I love you." And it's just like, fuck, and you know what Frank's there to do.
Yeah.
And and it's just, man. And then to kind of extend that, a little bit later in the movie, he has to call Pacino's widow and talk to her, and she's so distraught and so upset, and he's just trying to comfort her. And be like, oh, I'm sure he's fine. We'll figure it out. And there's just, oh man, there's so many layers to it. The Irishman, number one, it really is Billy Costigan from The Departed. But there we go. That's my top 5. Shawnee, I'm very curious to hear yours.
Okay, mine is kind of a interesting one because it's based off one of the movies that I consider one of my top 5 like of all times. I really like this movie. It's from the movie The Prestige, which is a Christopher Nolan movie. And one of the characters in the movie, played by Hugh Jackman, have you guys seen this movie, Alex and Matt?
No, but our old roommate, it's like one of his
We used to make
favorites.
fun of our roommate.
Well,
He always want to watch it. We're like, fuck no.
I don't want
I'm watching Magic.
I don't want to like. It's tough because the death is kind of a spoiler in a way, as far as like how the because how like a lot of Christopher Nolan movies, he kind of adds that little extra twist sometimes in the end, and that kind of like, I wouldn't say derails the movie, but like it kind of goes from like what you're expecting the movie to end like, and then it kind of like goes off in its own like little thing. I guess long story short, in the movie it's about like two competing magicians, and one of the magicians, Hugh Jackman, he discovers a way through Nikola Tesla. He goes to actually played by David Bowie in the movie. He finds a way for Tesla to make him a machine to pretty much transport a man, and that's like the trick that he's trying to make, right? But by the end of the movie, you find out that Tesla actually made a machine to clone him, and he would have to pretty much kill his clone and dress it up so, like, he would disappear in the trick and then he would appear somewhere else. But in reality, he's actually creating a clone of himself, and then the clone has to, like, it gets dropped into like down the stage, and there's a tank in there, and that's where the clone drowns. So every night for his performance, when he performs this trick, he pretty much clones himself and then kills himself every night for this thing. And at the end of the movie, the other character, Christian Bale's character, confronts Hugh Jackman's character. And at the end of the movie, one of the last shots is kind of this warehouse where he's been storing all his like magic materials or whatever. And it just pans out, and it's all these tanks full of copies of Hugh Jackman's character. And it's just like, because you pretty much like the tragedy with the character is like he found a way to make pretty much this thing happen, this kind of like science happen, but at a very high cost of him pretty much cloning himself and, having to decide if he's going to be the person, appearing inside the tank or appearing as they call the Prestige, the kind of, the aftermath where he's standing there, getting applause by the crowd. So is this kind of like moral dilemma of him, like, I choose to, I want to do this and explore this kind of technology to make, to garner entertainment, for people. But at the same time, he also struggled with the ability to, every night he had to go into that machine and like live with the fact that he will die every time he goes into that machine. So it's kind of a fucked up twist. Yeah, it's a really screwed up twist, and it just shows like how far they're willing to go to kind of, because both the magicians are kind of like competing against each other, and unfortunately, as the movie goes, they go to extreme lengths to really compete, and you kind of of course they lose sight of what it truly is. It's just entertainment and getting people to be surprised and everything like that. But again, it's in true Christopher Nolan fashion. The death, this kind of like almost science fiction kind of reveal near the end, and it literally ends on that shot where it pans there, and then you just see like Hugh Jackman's body like floating, like dead in this like and there's like hundreds of them. So you got to imagine he probably performed that trick like few maybe 30, 50 times or whatever. So it's that was a huge sacrifice that he had to kind of learn, and it's pretty messed up. So
I still don't understand it.
Yeah. Gotta watch it, man. It's crazy.
I'll watch it.
Now you
Take
can
your
watch
word
it.
for it.
Right on. How we're at the hour 15. I'm starting to.
Pretty good.
I'm good with whatever you guys want to
Okay.
do.
Should we
Do we
do?
have any honorable mentions?
well-
Do we have any like
Ooh,
that
Oh, yeah,
make
you-
the list?
I had a couple that were like just kind of fun, not really like worthy, but
let's hear it.
one of kind of similar to Up in the very beginning of the movie. The Rock and Samuel Jackson's character. You think that the movie is going to be about these two badass cops, and they go through this whole crazy chase on these bad guys, and they think the only way to catch them is to jump off this 20-story building, and they say to each other, "Aim for the bushes," and they jump and kill themselves pretty much. And
It's like the rock song they're playing in the background. There goes my like.
Yeah.
But I thought that was hilarious. Another Mark Wahlberg classic with Will Ferrell.
Hey,
Oh yeah.
Damn. Okay.
All right. I would, if we're talking like runner-ups and stuff.
Yeah.
Have you all seen Bad Lieutenant, Port of Call, New Orleans with Nick Cage? No.
The most
Well,
wild
he's
movie.
a bad lieutenant, and he does a lot of crack. And he's hanging out at his crack dealer's house, who happens to be played by Exhibit X to the Z. And they're all doing crack, and he's with like the gang or whatever. And I forget exactly. It's been a minute since I've seen it, but there's a dude that they decide to kill, and they shoot him, and they riddle him with bullets, like 20, 50 bullets, and Nick Cage is so high, he just goes again, and Exhibit's like, "What are you talking about, man? He's dead." He's like, and Nick Cage goes, "But his soul is still dancing," and then they cut to the guy now played by a younger actor doing a breakdance scene, and the gang starts shooting him. It's wild. It's such a trippy movie. Darkly hilarious. I highly recommend it. A lot of crack smoking, but if you can get past that part of it,
A lot of that. Yes.
Me and Alex are pretty used to that living in the TL.
Yeah, I mean Nick Cage, Eva Mendes, and Exhibit seems pretty fun. I'm into that.
yeah.
Yeah.
What a cast.
Oh man.
I was having a lot of fun making this list, so I'll just rattle off a few. I had Ricky from Boys in the Hood, Sam Jackson in Deep Blue Sea, Marley the dog from Marley and Me, and then Will Smith in I'm Legend.
Oh shit! Yeah,
This goes like
nice.
full kamikaze against all those zombies.
Dude, the Ricky Boys in the Hood one gets me every time. I just saw a meme that had Aaron Rodgers' head on Ricky, and then the 49er logo on the car, blowing his ass up.
I saw a meme of the guy who's shooting Ricky in the back is Ben Simmons, and he doesn't shoot him, and Ricky goes on to be this like Hall of Fame running back, and they all blame Ben Simmons for it.
That's incredible.
But yeah,
The other one I had
This
was
is
in Dumb and Dumber, Lloyd's dream sequence where he rips out the chef's heart. I don't know if you guys remember.
Oh yeah.
It was technically like a fake death because it was in a dream, but I
Yeah.
think he disrespected Lloyd's girl, right? And he got up and threw his napkin and then ripped his heart out.
He like started kissing her hand and then went up all like her arm and everything. I almost had the
face Lloyd
owls.
makes. Chucks his napkin.
I almost had the owls from Dumb and Dumber on my list. This
man.
party really died. I just showed Alicia for the first time. We watched Ace Ventura 2 and then Ace Ventura 1. And she was like, "This explains so much." Like,
Yeah.
I felt a little bad. It was like pulling the curtain back a little bit. And then we watched fucking Cable Guy, which still holds up.
Oh yeah, that movie's great too.
Yeah. Anyway,
Nice.
Nice.
Good
talk about Jim
deaths,
Carrey
guys.
whenever we can. Great deaths. Any runner-ups from you, Shawnee?
I kept my list pretty tight. I actually just had, I kind of had my 5. I could probably think of a bunch of them though, if I can think. But I don't know. I mean, there's so many kind of deaths, but I think the ones I named off tonight are the ones that really stick out. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Real quick, just gotta shout out Raiders of the Lost Ark when Indy shoots the swordsman. The swordsman does all that fancy swordplay, and Indy just is exhausted, pulls out his gun, done.
Just caps his ass.
And the opening scene from Scream, which I think is one of the best opening scenes.
yeah.
But it's Drew Barrymore
yeah.
popping popcorn, getting ready to watch a movie, and then we all know what happens next.
Did she get? She was on the movie poster and got like top billing for that, right?
Yes. One
And
of
she
the
was in it
greatest
for
tricks that
3 minutes.
hmm
Great movie too. It's like I
Great
think
fucking
Scream
movie.
actually kind of holds up for at least that
Yeah.
'90s horror nostalgia feel.
Absolutely. I watched it not too long ago, and I'm like, this is a great movie. And it's funny too. It's very, very funny.
Yeah, big fan of Scream.
Nice.
Ooh. Very good. Very good.
You boys
All
want to
right.
hop into sophomore albums?
Sean, how you feeling?
I'm having some issues with the audio. So
Have we all been cut now?
no, it kinda. There's like a little clicky noise, and the only way I can fix it is if we stop. So yeah, sorry. That's why I kind of look a little distracted right now. I'm just like, what the fuck is going on with this? So,
What if like Sean was just a liar and he just didn't want to talk to us anymore? Like,
no.
Wouldn't really blame him.
No. But yeah, I can still hear you guys, and I think it's still coming through the stream and the recording and everything. I think it's just it's like doing this like weird clicky noise. So apologies to anyone's watching us right now. But yeah, I tried to fix it, but it wasn't. I guess I have to like stop everything. So, but it's all good. It's all good. Yeah.
Yes. That'll be a fun list to do.
Yeah, I got a nice list for that. So have us back. Cowboys.
Yeah, we'll have you guys back for sure. Definitely do another collab pod.
Where can we find your guys' pod if you want to give it a proper shout and description and all that?
Ooh, you want to go ahead, Al?
Yeah, so we're on everywhere you get your podcasts, Spotify, Apple, hosted through Anchor.fm. The DNP Pod is the name. Give us a shout, subscribe, like, follow, all that good stuff. We love it. We appreciate it.
Yep. If you want to look at us on the gram, it's at @the_DNP_pod, and then on Twitter it's just at @DNP_pod. But all of our shit, like Al said, you can find it on there. And yeah, mostly talking hoops, but pretty much just like basketball stuff, and then whatever is like funny or trending on Twitter, we're gonna be talking about it.
Love that.
Cool.
And you guys put on a wonderful show. I'm a fan. So thank you guys for joining us today.
Every Wednesday.
That's when you guys drop it. Do you guys do it live and then, or do you record beforehand?
No, we record Tuesday nights usually.
Yeah, nice. But I'm kind of digging this this Twitch thing. So we might be jumping into some live episodes maybe. I like the idea of it.
Yeah,
you could be just like us and have 3 viewers.
More than every one of those viewers.
I'm proud of every one of them.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Right on. And where can we find you guys personally online if you want to give your, personal info out?
Our handles.
Yeah.
What am I? Let's see.
I am _ Alex Baldridge on Twitter. Come for the bad takes and various startup talk and things like that. So combination of sports, some tag talk, and random hooligan antics from Twitter. So
Nice.
yeah.
And then on Twitter, I'm at Matt Parati. Normal, common spelling. Same thing. Usually just tweeting about whatever it is, NBA, or just random videos on Twitter, buffoonery, whatever we could think of.
Love it.
Nice.
Love it.
Thanks for having us on, fellas. This was fun.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on. This
Long
is
time coming
we're
again.
Definitely gonna have to do this again soon. We won't wait another 235 episodes to do it. Shawnee, where can we find you on the internets?
You guys can find me on Instagram at Sean Day Music. I have a website, seandaymusic.net. I mentioned last pod, I started a kind of a digital arts NFT project kind of thing called Dimple Portraits. So at Dimple Portraits, and then you'll find the links to the pictures. And if you're ever interested in purchasing the NFT for it, you can find it on the OpenSea.io site. So check it out.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. You can check me out on Instagram, at Twitter, at Joey Parati, and on my website, joeyparati.com. You can check out the show at Top 5 Pod. It's TOPFIVE5POD on Instagram, on Twitter, at gmail.com. We're on YouTube, Apple Music, Google Play, SoundCloud, Spotify, Anchor, all the places. So please give us a like, give us a listen, give us a follow, give us your love. And Jonathan, we will give you
Tons of love in return. I can always
Tons
never
of
come up
love
with a
in
good one
return.
every week, dude.
Nope. Every week I ask the same question, and every week
Tons
I
of
get
love,
the
dude.
Same response. Until next time, I'm Joy Bro. Oh wait, what?
Oh no, I was gonna say, and we gotta have you guys on our pod next, and
Yeah. Oh yeah.
we'll do
love that.
something very similar to this, but we like to do it draft style. So
Oh,
just
okay,
kinda
okay.
like the whole snake order we were doing, but like if Alex took Jem's death in the town, that means I couldn't take it. You know what I mean? So a little different spin on it. So we'll have you
Gotcha,
guys on
yeah.
for the draft.
Competition.
I would love that. I can't wait.
Love it.
Let us know. Let us know when.
Yes, sir.
Good plan. Right. Until next time, I'm Joy Parati.
I'm Sean Day.
I'm Matt Parati,
I'm Alex Baldridge.
and we are the DNP Pod.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Nice. Bye.
Hey.